There's something to be said about getting away from it all every once in a while. For some, that would mean booking an all-inclusive vacation to somewhere warm and sunny. For others, that means loading up the camping gear and heading for the great outdoors. However, when embracing our inner Grizzly Adams, we still have to keep security in mind. Here are some of the most amazing camping tents that will keep away any intruder. Before we start pitching our tents, be sure to click that red subscribe button so you're always one step ahead of the fun. Concrete tent. For the most part, camping tents are made out of nylon, canvas, or polyester blends. This makes them lightweight and water-resistant, but not overly secure. They can be easily ripped or torn from the elements, accidents, or opportunistic sneak thieves prowling by unnoticed. So how can someone avoid these potential downsides? With a concrete tent, of course. After all, who wants a simple tent when you can have a camping bunker? The material contains all the elements of normal concrete, but it's flexible enough to be modeled into just about any shape. Using the specially coated material, this amazing technology allows someone to create a completely livable structure in as little as 24 hours. Just make sure you're certain of your placement before getting too carried away. Once this material is doused with water and given time to dry, it can't be reshaped and becomes quite heavy. The concrete cloth is stored in a waterproof bag for easy transportation and to ensure that it doesn't get wet before it's ready to be used. In order to construct your nearly permanent camping shelter, you need to add water to the bag. When it's full, just need to cut away the plastic and attach an air pump. Now here's the tricky part, unless you're Hercules. The heavy fabric needs to be stretched out as it inflates to ensure it rises properly. Once the building has been erected and hardens, it's strong enough for you to stand on the roof and can even withstand the heat of a blowtorch. There's even a built-in door, so no need to worry about getting in. They offer 50 square meters of space for storage and are designed to house multiple people and equipment. At this time, they are mainly marketed to military personnel, but you can get one of your very own for about $25,259. It may be a little pricey, but you can guarantee you won't have any uninvited guests. Floating teepee. There's just something about camping alongside the water. It's peaceful, it's serene, and you don't have to worry too much about bathing since the river or lake is right there. Just be sure you're using biodegradable soap. Sometimes, though, you want to be even closer to nature, to almost be a part of it. But how? What about camping directly on the water itself? 21-year-old William Woodbridge decided to take it a step further when he set up his campsite. The Australian second-year university student built himself a sturdy raft and set up a teepee to keep him warm and dry. The scholar says that he decided to build his floating fortress after being fined nearly $400 for accidentally setting off the fire alarm while cooking at his old dorm. He called it a sort of protest against unfair fines and absurd rent prices, as his rent had recently increased by nearly 50%. This increase essentially left the young man homeless as he was unable to afford both the rent hike and the fine. Before shipping off, Woodbridge actually lived in the back of his car. At first, he considered a cabin-style tent for his shelter, but eventually decided on the teepee. He admitted that he found the design deliciously hippie and the cone shape of the teepee was very stable in high winds. His seaworthy shelter contained everything he needed, and being out on the water provides an extra layer of security from critters and crooks. Let's just hope he never has to worry about pirates. Cocoon tent. One of the most uncomfortable parts of camping is trying to find a flat area to set up your campsite. Otherwise, you're left feeling poked and prodded by tree roots, rocks, and fallen twigs, among other things. It also tends to leave you sore and tired the next morning as well. Definitely not the most ideal sleeping arrangement. On top of that, you have to worry about all kinds of creatures coming to investigate. That's where the cocoon tent comes in. Unlike standard tents, this one is suspended between the trees by tight wires high above the ground. It uses a high-quality aeronautical aluminum structure covered in a waterproof membrane to create a cozy sleeping pod. It can fit up to 4 people comfortably and supports 2.3 tons of weight. Just imagine being rocked to sleep by a pleasant breeze. It would have you feeling like you're swaying gently on the waves of the ocean. Talk about peaceful. Typically, the cocoon is 20 feet or more from the ground. It has a main entrance and 2 other hatches for air circulation. It even comes with a super soft mattress for added luxury and support. And the best part, nobody can get in without your permission. The whole thing costs roughly $7,442, but it's certainly worth it for the experience. If you're a fan of glamorous camping, or glamping as it's become known, this is one of the finest ways to do it. Just make sure you watch out for flying squirrels. Bubble tent. Have you ever been concerned about someone sneaking up on you while you're enjoying the great outdoors? Well, there's no need to worry if you're camping with a bubble tent. These unique igloo-like tents are completely transparent, allowing for a full 360-degree view 24 hours a day. Let's see an intruder catch you off guard now. Though they may look like a giant fishbowl, these crystal-clear bubbles were designed to bring people closer to nature while still enjoying modern comforts. If complete transparency isn't your thing though, they also come in semi-transparent. These allow for some privacy but still offer astonishing views of the night sky through the clear ceiling. These tents can also be used just about anywhere: dense jungle, on the beach, amongst the mountains, by the lake, or within an enchanting forest. The tent is inflatable and can include all sorts of features such as electricity or even a kitchen. They range in price depending on their size and complexity. They were definitely designed with glampers in mind, as many are big enough to fit an entire bedroom, and thanks to their double entrance system, even the bugs can't sneak their way in. Time to test your campsite knowledge with our quiz question. When setting up camp, what is considered to be the minimum safe distance between your tent and your fire pit? We'll tell you in just a few minutes. DECAGONAL tent. Camping with friends and family can be a real hoot and a half, especially when there are enough of you to make your own little canvas city. However, with DECAGONAL modular tents, you can create one giant combined fortress. Designed by Japanese outdoor company named Logos, these tents are roomy, comfortable, and can be arranged in endless combinations. If you wanted, you could even create a maze with multiple hidden entrances or impassable cul-de-sacs. That way, if anyone is foolish enough to invade your camp, you have endless options for escape or to ensure an outsider would become lost until the authorities arrive. Medieval roleplay daydreams aside, these tents can be connected to each other on all 5 sides, leaving room for dining areas, living space, sleeping quarters, and whatever else you could want. The modules come in various sizes as well. There are even modules big enough to back a car into, so you can unload directly into your nylon fortress. They range in price from $150 to $1,400 a piece. According to the designer, each unit is designed to be assembled in roughly 5 minutes. Campsite etiquette notwithstanding, there is no limit to the size and complexity of these ingenious configurations. Hammock tent. For many of us, our worst camping nightmare is to be attacked by wild animals or watching them drag away our food and equipment. Thankfully, that doesn't happen very often, especially if you practice safe food storage, but there's almost always that twinge of fear. So, how can we ensure our safety while out gallivanting in the woods? Hammock tents, of course. There are several different varieties depending on the individual's needs. There are single-man tents which can be easily carried in a backpack. They are lightweight and quite easy to assemble. You just need a couple of sturdy trees and you're all set. Not only are these tents above the ground, they also offer protection from the elements and insects. The best part about these tents is that they do not harm the trees that support them. Unlike with a regular tent, which leaves a bit of a footprint, these environmentally friendly hammocks leave no trace that you were ever even there. If you're more of a group camper, these temporary shelters are also available in larger sizes. Now you can embrace Mother Nature from a safe perch with 5, 8, or even 12 people per tent. Just remember to keep in mind that as the tent gets bigger, it also gets heavier to transport. The largest version weighs somewhere around 100 pounds when collapsed and packed up, so it's not ideal for a leisurely backpacking trip without the Hulk in tow. Field camouflage tent. Is it a sheep? Is it a grassy field? No, it's a tent. Or is it? From afar, who could tell? This 2-person, 100% waterproof animal farm tent from Field Candy is ideal for camping out in the countryside. They're not just a pretty face either. These tents are designed to weather the storm through all seasons, whether it's in the temperamental springtime, blazing summer, chilly autumn, or the blistering cold of winter. These whimsical shelters are also lightweight and use breathable, fire-retardant fabric. These high-performance A-frame tents are designed and shipped out of England, so it's no wonder that the tent's outer tarp is adorned with woolly sheep, 2 on one side and 1 little lamb on the other, grazing in a grassy field. It would be virtually invisible to interlopers when pitched among the wildflowers. Imagine waking up to the fresh scent of dew-covered grass, the soft bleating of sheep coming from a nearby paddock as you ready yourself for a glorious day exploring the rolling hills. They retail between $200 to $400 online, but they are not available in stores. Even the storage bag is adorable as it also features the adorable Barnyard Beauties. Cliff tent. Have you ever wondered where mountain climbers sleep at night when they are 3,000 feet above the ground? Well, they certainly don't return to the ground before they're done. While many of us may feel somewhat dizzy at the thought, some professional climbers pitch their tents right on the side of the cliff face. These specially designed tents, called portaledges, are anchored in the rock wall. They first began to appear in the 1950s and were definitely an improvement over trying to find a suitable ledge to spend the night. They resembled hammocks for quite some time, but around the 1980s the more tent-like designs began to emerge. They have a strong base that is supported by a metal frame and adjustable suspension straps. It would certainly be an effective deterrent for intruders as well, given the fact that they'd have to find you first. Not to mention climb up or down to steal your belongings. Definitely not worth the causal thief's while. Just imagine the view as well, as many of these portaledges are just a base with nothing above you but the mountainside and the night sky. While completely amazing, these campsites are certainly not for the faint of heart. So, do you know the safe distance between a tent and a campfire? Ideally, your fire pit should be downwind and at least 30 feet from your tent. That way, if any sparks start flying, the wind won't carry them toward the flammable nylon. Seeing all these nifty tents has us ready to pack our bags and hit the trail. How about you? Before you go though, be sure to check out our other fantastic videos about the great outdoors. We have something for everyone at The Richest, and don't forget to click the subscribe button to ensure you're never out of the loop. Catch you guys next time!